I'm here with Mr. Suleiman Naqvi, who's the spokesperson for the Federation of Muslim Organizations. And it's late in the night. We are in Leicester on the road where all the unrest happened. And he's still working through meeting the council, meeting various officers as well as the police and the faith leaders. Thank you for your time and so late in the night. Please tell me, sir, what is it? How do you view this unrest? Why?
Right. There are different narratives that different people are throwing out there. For me, what started as what they call a cricket match, but I can't understand why a cricket match could lead to violence in the street, because every year we have cricket matches between Pakistan and India.
Yes.
And though people come in each other's areas with flags and hooting and except, it's never turned to violence. This is the first time. And first of all, I must start by saying I condemn that violence in the strongest terms, irrespective of who started it or how it continued. It has no place here in the city, and certainly has no place in our Indian culture, because we are taught to be peaceful people, and we have to bring peace back to our city.
Brilliant. So that is absolutely wonderful, and I know you, along with many other people, haven't seen this in years and decades that they have lived here. But why did this happen? Has the investigation or the conversation come to some kind of understanding of that? Number one. Number two, the children who are involved, the youth, I've spoken to, of course, the Indian side. They're petrified to come out of their houses. How is that being dealt with?
Right. The police have said that they've made a number of arrests from both sides, and the investigations are live. It would not be faithful to me to comment on a live investigation in case there are some legal reasons why I would say this, because they could be let off as a result of defense from the opposite side. However, what you say about people petrified to go out in the street is absolutely terrible. And the best thing we can do is pick up our courage and not let mob rule us. We have to go out there and continue our life, whether it is the devotees, whether it is people from simply going to the mosque, whether it's our mothers going shopping or dropping the children off at school. It's important that we bring normalization as quick as possible, because this certainly does not benefit anybody. In fact, it's a stain on us and stain on our culture. People of the Asian community are always known to be peace-loving people. What we say is in relation to bring peace, shanti, make people understand that this is who we are. We are not of a violent nature.
Indeed. But this is the situation that it is. And a part of it, as I have been speaking to those who were knifed, who were asked whether you're Hindu or Muslim, and then the violence took place. The flag was burnt here, the flag was dismantled or disrespected, the Indian flag. Why did the police not find in them to stop the people from doing that? And when the police didn't protect, that's where the fear comes from.
Sure. Well, first of all, as a proud Indian, I'm quite saddened that one of the flags of the national country that my ancestors come from itself was desecrated in some form. We must remember that the investigation so far has revealed that the person who attacked the flag itself was not from the Muslim community, nor was he from the Hindu community. It was somebody from another community. But there is no excuse for that. In relation to the one on the Mandir where the flag was brought down, was done by one individual young person, and it was imams in the group that brought him down and disagreed with it. So much so that they had a meeting outside the mosque yesterday, and again they promised that if they wish, they're happy to pay for it. It's not the cost of it, it's the principle of it, that no place of worship should be damaged. And if any place of worship is damaged, all places of worship should be seen as being damaged, and this is unacceptable.
Indeed, but why did the police not do something?
Right. The police, I think, would have to answer why they didn't do anything, but my understanding so far is it was a resources issue. They did not expect this march to come very quickly because it was organic. They did not plan. Nobody had applied for permission to have the march. It just people gathered very quickly in the street. At one point, there were only 8 police officers, and there were about 250 to 300 people. So what they had to do was one of two things. either contain this march, which they can't because 8 people to 300 people, this is impossible, or engage with the people that were marching, waiting for reinforcements to come in from other cities and other counties. And so it was, I believe, a resources issue.
Okay. Now going forward, how are the investigations going, as much as you can share, and what is the community doing to bring semblance and what peace?
Right. I personally have a lot of friends and I've been in interfaith work for 30 years of my life. So I am known and work with the Hindu community. I've done talks in temples, I've done talks in gurdwaras, in churches, in synagogues. And I'm using all those years of 30 years of good working relation to try and bring an understanding and standing shoulder to shoulder with my brothers from the Hindu community and the sisters from the Hindu community to say we will not let anybody divide us. The problem here, I think, is the migration pattern of Leicester is slightly different. So if we look in the early parts of the 50s, 60s and 70s, most people came from the Indian subcontinent, and if we move further towards the 70s, people from East Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and Southern Africa came here. Now, I come from that part of the world, though I have Indian heritage. And in those countries, our parents left the Indian subcontinent to the New World to go and find employment, and they worked with each other and they lived in perfect harmony. They celebrated each other's celebrations, etc. So this is alien to us. Why this is happening? Because it has never happened. So I've been here 46 years. This is the first time I've seen something happen. Now some people are pointing a finger at the new arrivals that have come to the city, and they believe that those arrivals didn't have the same life journey that we had. Therefore, the bridge hasn't been built between the settled community and the new arrivals, and it's our duty not to stereotype them, but to bring them into the fold and say these things cannot happen here.
The new arrivals are from any, you would like to name any country?
Well, in this case, they've come from all over the world, but certainly in the context of Leicester and this particular problem, they've come from a particular section of the Indian subcontinent, and they are new people that have just arrived here.
Okay. Could you tell me what are the plans to bring the community together, because now Navratri is coming, Diwali is coming, we can't expect an unrest like this.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. So there are 3 or 4 things that we are looking at. One, I'm looking at, believe it or not, is a cricket match made up of Hindus and Muslims together, playing Hindus and Muslims, not one versus the other, but together. So the team will be mixed. Point number 1. Point number 2, for a number of years I've read a dialogue group between the Hindus and the Muslims, where Hindus go to a Muslim home for a meal and then Muslims go for a meal to a Hindu home. So we have to revive that. Third most important thing, we are trying to get a group of young people to stand outside the mandis at Navratri time example and stand there and say, you enjoy yourself and we will protect your place of worship while you are out. So we have to do things to bring communities together. Let us start the healing process. We can continuously talk about all the bad, terrible things that happen, but the answer is, how do we move forward? This does not help you, does not help me, does not help anybody. And more importantly, we are also reaching out to the parents of parental responsibility, that if your sons, and it's mostly men, out in the street, and if they get caught with a criminal act, and they have a criminal record, it's going to affect their career paths, their jobs for the future, etc. So education is very important. We have also tried to get hold of headmasters and teachers at school and to tell them that in the assembly they need to talk about how cohesion can be brought back. So we work with very young people as well, and I think it's a combination of things that we will have to do.
Perfect. Thank you so very much, and that's what is most important. What is the way forward and how will the healing happen? And there are various ideas that are being put in place to bring the community, as everyone is saying, there are people from outside that have caused the unrest. People from Leicester have been living together in decades. These are people who are living in Leicester, but they are new comers, if you can say. And integration is the way forward, and the ideas are being put forth to bring Leicester back to a semblance and a peaceful state. Lavina Tandon for India Today from Leicester.